and welcome to Manda's Ramblings, brought to you from my new workspace. As you can see here, there's other baskets that have got all my wool in. Behind me you can see Dave's trucks, because the other half of the room is Dave's space. I'm sat at my desk in my new chair. This is a blanket that I've been working on using squares that people sent me from my group on Wool and Bits and Crafty Friends on Facebook. Yeah, so I haven't been on for a while. I haven't really felt up to it or known what to say or been a bit busy, just generally getting everything together. So I thought I'd go through some of the makes that I've made this month. Yeah. So I started January off by doing Tame My Lace. I haven't got that with me. That's Jessie's. It's at her house. It's a lace top that was knitted following a pattern, very lacy at the top, done with in a yoke. And it's got two lengths for the body, so you can actually have a longer yoke, which is really pretty, which is what I did for Jess. It's called Tame My Lace, and it is on Ravelry, and it is by Valentine, and I want to say Bogdanova. Very sorry if I say the name wrong. It's not my first language, and English isn't my first language, and I'm rubbish at it. Being dyslexic's a real pain. So I made that first of all, and that was made in sock yarn from Stash. Jessie got to choose what yarn it was, and I couldn't tell you what the yarn was because I'd bought it from a D-Stash ages and ages ago. I think I've done them at Williams, and yeah, I've had it in my stash and I wanted to use it for myself, but Jessie decided she wanted it, and that was fine because it actually worked out really nicely. Really hard from the photos. You can see them on Facebook and Instagram, where Manda's Wool and Bits for both, and on Ravelry. You can't actually see the bobble stitches which are made into it because they're really, really small, but they get lost on the photograph. They don't get lost in person. They're really, really pretty. So I followed that up by doing Everest by Beliza, and it was a crochet hat. So here it is. It's a crochet hat. And it's done on the side, so you knit you crochet sideways, and each time you get to the top, it's a different bit, but it's quite a pretty little hat. It's done in two colours. That was the way that she asked for it to be done, and you can see it's got ridges in it, which is really quite pretty. You can actually turn it inside out, and it just gives you a different set of ridges, slightly different, and obviously the bottom needs turning up the other way. But I thought that was really pretty, and it's really quite thick. It's made in Aran weight, so worsted weight yarn. Again, it's yarn from my stash, which, yeah, I quite like raiding the stash barn at the moment. I did that in Stylecraft yarn. Just to prove, I like to prove sometimes that these designs work just as well in cheap yarn as they do in really expensive yarn. So I made that one, and that one's for a present, but if you want one, just ask, and because I make to order. I then made a Highland Cow in purples, which again I haven't got because that was an order for a lady who I met during the Christmas fairs. And she goes to church with my Jessie, and she asked if I could make a Highland Cow in purples, so two different colour purples. So I decided this time I was going to use Aran weight yarn, because I wasn't posting it. I could see how big it ended up, and it was big. It was this big, so it was quite big, and it looked really, really good in those particular colours. So if you want to see that, again, you'll have to go to Facebook or Instagram or Ravelry, because I tend to put it on all three. I next made a monster, and I don't know where my monster's gone. Oh, yes, I do. This one. This monster's called Misha, and he's a design by Lizzie from MTP Designs. And, sorry, dropped him. I think he's really cute. I got these eyes. I got them from Timu, but I believe you can get them from elsewhere, like Amazon. But I just picked up some when I was still buying off there. I don't buy off there anymore because of their taxes. It changed and I won't do it. You can put little teeth in here. You could make it a bigger pocket, I suppose, and then it could be the teeth monster so that you could get your children to put the teeth in. As it is, I think it's a really cute little monster and I just had to make it. So at the moment he's living in my chair, which is upside down, waiting for a sticker to be put on it, to put on his foot to stop it from marking the floor, which was what I was waiting for in my office, was my floor mats to be flat, because we bought them rolled and they needed flattening. So that was my number 4 make of the year. I also made, in that time, I finished my blanket, which is downstairs. I did a big reveal on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. But that was all done in yarns that I got from Club when I was doing Club with the Dye Shack. I'm not at the moment because I'm trying to use up my stash. I really have got a lot. That there is, it's full. And up in the attic is some more. That's also lots of bags up there. So I really need to get some of that down and start using it. So that was the idea. So I did the blanket. It's all different colours. It's all different stitches. And I did it in the round and I steeked it. Now, the reason I steeked it is because I wanted to not have to toss it and turn it. So turning it round from one side to the other is very heavy. Whereas if you just keep knitting it in the round, once it gets twisted, you only have to pick it up probably every 4 or 5 rows instead of every row. So it actually makes it much easier, much less strain on your shoulders and your arms, which is where I find that I end up aching at the end of the day. If anybody does want that pattern, they're going to have to tell me, because I don't know if it's something people want. Would they want to do a blanket and have to steek it? It's ended up with, instead of sewing all the ends in, I actually, finished it on the end of the row. And so all of those ends have become tassels. And so I haven't had to sew any ends in, which was absolutely fantastic. I really liked that. That made it so much better. I also did some Halloween mitts that I've done. They are on Facebook and Instagram, I believe. They are bright orange with black, and they were a pattern I found on Ravelry. I'm afraid I don't have the name of the person, but they were called Halloween mitts, and it was a make-along, and I started it and I made a mistake and I made it too deep. Repeated the same pattern twice, but the other problem was by doing so it made it too tight to put over your hand, so I had to frog it back and start again, and I ran out of time and I had a lot of people putting in orders, so I ended up not finishing them. Anyway, I've finished them now and they've gone to Jessie, so she's got them next door, so I can't show you those. What else did I do? Oh, the crosses, they're called the Kisses and Hugs hats. And they're called X's and O's, and they are by Becky B. Gale, so Beagell. And I found them on Ravelry. So that's where you can find them. Now, I'm pretty sure she's got another name as well, and she does the Christmas knit along and things like that. So this is, let me show that side because the sun's shining. This is what they are. So they're kisses and hugs. And I've made these for the twins. So I've actually made 2, and I've made them opposites. So they've both got exactly the same hat. It'll fit them. So those are part of their Christmas present for next year. And they are kisses and hugs. The twins are my stepchildren, Jessie's half brother and sisters. It's the sisters' little girls, 2 of them. They're beautiful. So I've made them those hats because obviously you want to be able to identify them. They are identical. Slight differences, but not a lot. Then I went on to make... I I did a hat test. Oh, yes, I did a hat test. Yeah, these. These are by Yarn Shop by Stay Alive. This hat is double thick. I'd never done one before. I've actually sewn it in, but it's actually lined all the way. So it's double thick. It's lined all the way to the top. I've sewn it in so it doesn't come out. This one is a child size, which did in lilac. I don't know yet who's getting this one. It actually fits Jessie's head, so it would do for a child or a teen. It's a beautiful stitch. It's like stitch one below. It's not, but it is. So you're stitching below, and that one comes in 3 different sorts of hats. So you've got this one, which is double. And you've got this one, which is single. And you got one which was a double rim as well. And I actually did 3 of them. Yeah. I did 3. So that one was single. That one's meant to look like that. But yeah, I filled it up. Anyway, so I actually did 3 hats in total. One of which did in, that's Stylecraft. That's Stylecraft. That's an adult size. It is super, super stretchy. It is so stretchy. This pattern isn't out yet. It's on its way out. So yeah, these are super stretchy. This will fit an adult. This one, because it's double lined, isn't quite as stretchy because obviously it's still got good stretch. But that one's a child size. It's not quite as deep in the body. It depends on the size of your head. Comes in several different lengths, sizes, so you can do from child to extra large, and it comes as 3 different patterns in one pattern, which is really good. So you do the same patterning, but you can do a single layer, a double rib, a single rib, and that one's ribbed, whereas these aren't. So yeah, it really, really good pattern. Really worth your money. So when it comes out, do check it out. It's on Yarn Shop by Staying Alive. Her name's Joanna, and she was brilliant to work with. So that was lovely. Sometimes it's really hard to work with some designers. Just, they don't respond. It can be a time delay. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a mouthful of coffee. It can be a time delay sometimes, or it can be that they're too busy doing too many tests at once, which is quite annoying because they don't know which test you're talking about. So you have to tell them which test you're doing and what you're doing. And if you're like me, you can't always spell the name, so you don't always want to, get it wrong. But hey, it's fine. So, I did another test for Bronwyn the Brave. Bronwyn the Brave Designs. Her name's Bronwyn, and she's an American designer. I think she's American. I'm sure she's American. If she's not, I'm very sorry, but I'm pretty sure she is. So, this design is for a cowl, a bandana, and it's really nice. Again, it's one of those where you drop down when you're knitting, but it's called Kukana bandana, Kaukana. And I only know because I've got my book here written down. That's why I keep looking down. I've got everything written down. So I used, it says to use, you can use up to 100 grams. This is, it's acrylic wool mix, very low wool content. And because of that, it's very rigid. It's not, it's dead smooth actually, and you can screw it up. But when it sits quite rigid. The others that have made it, this is, again, is not out quite yet, but I am allowed to share it, it isn't quite as rigid. But I love this design, and I also love the back of this design. Just, excuse me, I've got hiccups now. Yeah, so that was next. You've met, no, you haven't met Charlie Chick. I can't show you Charlie Chick. Charlie Chick isn't here. Why isn't Charlie Chick here? Oh, because I told him. That's why. Charlie Chick was sold. Yeah, I made Charlie Chick. That was another design. That one is live. That one is, you'll find that on Ravelry. The designer actually only works on Instagram and Ravelry. She's called Little Green Bear. And it's a little chick in a eggshell, and it's got a bit of eggshell on its head, and it's got its feet sticking out of its eggshell on the bottom, so it's just live. And Jessie asked me if I could turn it into an ugly duckling, so I did. And I just changed the beak a little bit by elongating the beak. I made the tail a little bit longer. And I did it in greys because the ugly duckling is in greys. So I did that. The next, we found Grinch. I knitted the Grinch. This one is a pattern. Now I can't tell you the name of the pattern. The name of the pattern is the Grinch. It's a lady who also does the Whimsical Forest Creature book and Wild Animals and Farm Animals book. I'm sorry, I can't find her name in my written down pieces. I've just put that it came from my Chromebook, which isn't quite right. So I'm sorry about that. I apologise. But if you type in Grinch, knitted Grinch, you will find him on Ravelry, and you will actually find him if you just put him into Google. So this is the Grinch. He's got movable legs, just from the way you sew him on, he moves. This is part of Dave's Christmas present. He has seen it, and he says it looks like a moomin, which I thought was quite rude. But hey, you know, what do you expect? So that was that one. I made a basket for Jessie. You'll have to find that on Facebook. It's in black and red, and it's a big basket, and it's for her to put her gloves and scarves and things, because she's got lots, and she's taken them next door to her house, and yeah, she just needed something to put them in. So next I made Leaf Kerchief. Leaf Kerchief is by Let's Knit, and she's on Ravelry, excuse me, and Instagram. So I found it on Instagram, and I've been following her for quite a while. I started one of her other shawlettes, and I didn't get on with it because I didn't like the yarn I was using, and I'd made a mistake, so I pulled it back, and I will make it again. So I decided that I would start off with her Leaf Kerchief because I like it. The Leaf Kerchief can be worn, so you can see it's absolutely beautiful on this side. You can see all the leaves, but I actually like it on this side just as much. I don't know why, I like the reverse. So you can wear it as a scarf, which I plan to do in the summer to try and keep the sun, a bit better than that, off my head. You can also wear it wrapped around your bobble, so like that. And I like that you can wear it round your neck in a fancy knot, and it just keeps the chill off. So that's Leaf Kerchief by Let's Knit. Let's Knit is LETE'(s) knit on Ravelry. I made it using stash yarn, but this is called Embers by Hooking Marvellous, and you can see it's obviously the ashes, which and then it's got little flecks of red and orange in there and a bit of yellow. I'm hoping you can see that in this beautiful leaf design. Now, I fell in love with both the yarn, and it's a bit busier than what you should normally use when you're doing lace work. Lace work should really be done with plain yarn, but I just love the yarn, and I thought it worked well with it, and I like a bit of colour, so I added a bit of colour. So that was that one. That's Leaf Kerchief. That's ready for me to wear. I'm just waiting for a bit warmer weather so I can wear it in my hair, I think. Then I made an octopus. Isn't he cute? This is an octopus that's knit, and it's not knit all in one. You knit the legs. It's a free pattern and is on Ravelry. I'm sorry, I don't, again, know the name of it. It's called Octopus. I just typed in Octopus on Ravelry and downloaded the first one that was free. Because I don't do a lot of knitted animals, I wanted to see. So you can see here, I sewed this one too tight and it's got to over twist. These ones are a bit looser and they just twist because that's the way they're made. So it's done in sheep jay, and you use two colours, an undercolour and an over colour. And you make the legs, and then you make the head, and then you pick up stitches and you join it all together. There is very little sewing, and this is actually started with only 4 stitches at the top, which is a first for me. So that's 2 firsts I've done this year straight away. I've done a double layered hat, which I've never done before, and I've started with a tiny little, just 4 stitches at the top. So I'm really pleased with that, and I think it turned out really quite cute. As you can see, it's not huge. You can put things in the legs so that the legs are movable. I didn't think it needed it. It's going to sit on Dave's desks, I think, so that's another one to be put away. Yeah, so what am I making at the minute, and what have I done next? So this is my leaflety. As you can see, still on the needle, so it's definitely not the one that I'd made already. I've just passed the halfway mark, that's here, and it's the same pattern. There's some differences, but it's the same pattern on that one as on my leaf kerchief as it is on this. Again, it's by Let's Knit from Ravelry, and again it is knit in Embers by Hooking Marvellous. I wanted to have them both the same. I'd planned it that way. I'd got enough to do it. I wanted them both done. It's too busy to be the next one, which I think begins with a C. The cabled one that I want to do, which is cable and lace together, that I tried before. Scarfletti. Yeah, I would like to do that one again, but I'm going to do it in a solid blue, I think. I haven't got much solid, so I have to be very careful and find the right thing. Next, I made some gloves. They are Tinsel mitts by Andrea Mowley. Yeah. Yeah, again, not great with names. She... Just type in Tinsel mitts, you'll find her. She also does the faded jumper and thousands of things. She did the shift cowl, night shift, and shift jumper. So you'll know who I mean. If you know who I mean, please put it in the comments, because I'm useless at remembering and I can't quite remember. So I made these gloves for Barry, who's my Uncle Barry, great Uncle Barry. He lives out in Canada, and he's got arthritis in his hands, and he wanted a pair of mittens that he could still use his fingers. So I made him these because they're fingerless, and the mittens that go over the top, and he should be able to get his hands in them because I've made them in wool and it's quite stretchy. But he was struggling to find anything to get his hands in, so I've made those, and they are on their way, and I'm hoping they'll arrive soon, because he lives, like I say, in Canada. They live in Toronto, and actually they were at Niagara the other day when it was frozen over, and it was freezing. So yeah, hopefully those will arrive with him soon, and I should find out how he's doing with those. So I then did another test knit. This one is called the Owling Hat. Now I can only show you a bit of this, so I'm going to hold on to the top. Yep. So I can show you a bit of it. I made it in Stylecraft yarn, and it is, yeah, I will have to look up the name again. I've not written it down, which is not like me. I'm usually pretty good, and I've done terribly this year so far. So it's called Owling Hat, and it's not out yet, but it is in my projects ready for when it goes live, which is supposed to be in, the end of this month. So it actually has quite a while, but I'm really pleased with that. That's another present sorted. So that's another reason why I do test knits. I get to play around using Stylecraft yarn. It's not too expensive, and it doesn't matter if people wash them and they don't shrink. So I then made a little floof sheep. Floof is the name. Floof is by Cottontail and Whiskers, It's a free pattern currently on her website, but it also comes free when you buy the dragon. Now I've just bought the dragon and I will be making the dragon. Yeah, the dragon. So I like Cottontail and Whiskers. That was who the Highland Cow was by. Yeah, I really do like her stuff. I've made lots. I've got Show the Sheep down there. Made her several times. There's the mole. There's the sprouts. There's the pudding. If you haven't found her yet and you're into crochet, go and check her out. Brilliant designer. So that's it for now. I've just applied for, well, I was asked if I could test, so I still had to apply for a test knit, which I'm hoping to start in the next week or so. Yeah, I think I've got three or 4 days before I need to start that one, which I can post pictures of, which is nice. It's teasable. So it's done in miniskin socks or scrap yarn, so it's one to watch. Now I was hoping to start my my calendar this month and yeah, use that. I do have my books ready. I do have my design in my head. So I'm going to finish Leaf Kerchief and I'll work on this other one whilst I'm planning, plotting, doing swatches and things. Yeah, I'm going to swatch so that I can see whether I like it or not, because this one's slightly more than what I normally do. It's going to be a shawl. I'd already decided it was a shawl, but I want it to be a shawl that I want to wear. Yeah. So I have a few things I want to do with this shawl, and I'm not sure yet whether I want the sides to be straight or whether I want to make them a pattern. I don't know yet whether I want to do lacy or whether I want to do tails. I know I want to show off the yarn the best I can, because the yarn is by the Dye Shack and it's beautifully dyed. I want it to represent what the calendar was about, which was Under the Sea. Yeah, so my brain is ticking at the moment. So anyway, I'm going to go and finish my brew, do a bit of knitting. I've got half an hour now, or maybe a bit longer, whilst Jess is out, so I'm going to listen to my book, which is here beside me, waiting to be listened to, and I'm going to enjoy sitting in this sunshine that I'm in my office or my workspace. Yeah, I'm going to do some knitting. So I hope you have a brilliant day, whatever you're doing. Comment below, let me know what you've been up to, what you've made. So far I've made 19, or started 19 different things, and I've only got one that I haven't, so far I've done 19 that I haven't finished this year. So I've started 19 and I've got one I haven't finished. That is really good for me. And I finished 2 from my to be finished list from last year, possibly the year before. Yeah, so I am really pleased. This month I've started 15 and there's only the one that I haven't finished. So yeah, I am cracking on and I would like to keep doing so. And I love seeing or hearing about what you lot have made. Yeah, people come onto Facebook and message me and send me pictures. I love that. It really makes me smile. Come and join us on Wool and Bits and Crafty Friends. That's our Facebook page. It's our Facebook group. Everyone is really friendly. There's loads of help there. You get to see what everyone's up to. If you ask people for help, there is more often than not somebody with the knowledge in that group. That is brilliant. So I'm signing off for the day, and I'll try not to leave it too long till I'm back, and I'll speak to you again soon. Thanks now. Bye.